Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SICW All-Star Wrestling. Drew Abbenhouse here, pleased once again to be here with the Godfather, the modern-day Mushnik. He is the boss man, Mr. Herb Simmons. Herb, how you doing?
Another week, I'm telling you. We just got a lot more to talk about, and we appreciate the fans tuning in every Sunday night as we taking them down a little memory.
Yes, sir. Folks, if you weren't with us last week, when we're done here, take a trip back, take a look. We basically talked about your start in the business, your beginnings. We talked about some of the great competitors who have proudly held that classic wrestling championship of ours. I think we've brought them up mostly to the modern day. Today we're going to tell a little bit more stories, some cool stuff that we've done through the years. And before we get there, because folks, we get talking, we wander off the main path and go into the woods sometimes. So we're going to do a little business before we do that. We have three big shows we want to talk about. First of all, July the 18th, it is our return. We've been off for like a month and a half. We're going to be back in the East Carondelet Community Center. Of course, our new home, or our new old home. It was your old home back in the day. The Belle Claire Fairgrounds has been undergoing a lot of construction, so we've been bouncing around. So this July the 18th, Saturday night, East Carondelet Community Center. It's always a great time. And the last show we had there, boy, the people came out and really packed the place.
Man, I'm telling you, and I think they will this also. It's kind of returning home, as the Big Texan talked about it.
Yeah.
So July 18th, mark that on your calendar.
Yes, sir. Flash forward to August the 1st. It is Fair St. Clair in Belleville, Illinois. Talk about that. That's a huge deal.
That's a big deal. The fair was been gone for 14, 15 years now. And,
oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's thanks to County Board Chairman Mark Kern and his committee that he's put together, the new racetrack that's been constructed there, larger track. They're going to have racing. They got national acts. Artists is going to be there. They got a petting zoo. They got a touch the fire truck. Everything. Carnival rides, hot dogs, cotton candy, funnel cakes. You name it. The expo hall where we do the wrestling shows that will have full of vendors. They're also having a pageant contest. The winner of that pageant will be crowned Fair St. Clair Queen and go on to compete on a state level.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so bringing back that old atmosphere of Fair St. Clair right there to the Belle Claire Fairgrounds. And, of course, at 4 o'clock on August the 1st, SICW wrestling will take place. And with the A. Simpson, Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. will be part of the wrestling show that day. So, $10 for adults. They have a children's ticket. It's going to be great. Mark that on your calendar.
I can't wait. It'll be my first Fair St. Clair. I can't wait. That's going to be exciting.
Yes.
Well, that's going to be a fantastic time. I can't wait to see some of the new renovations at the Belle Claire Fairgrounds, and we're going to be back home. I can't wait. August the 1st, 4 p.m. for the wrestling, and it's going to be a several-day affair. Like I said, can't wait. And then 1 week later, August the 8th, it is our 5th time, I want to say,
so.
Returning to our good friends at Citizens Park. It is the Belleville Little Devils. That's a youth football team, wrestling team, cheerleading. They do all sorts of things for the youth. It's been an amazing time each and every year. Weather permitting, we're going to be on the football field. And the main event is signed. It is a Texas death match. Bobby D challenging, trying to reclaim the Classic Wrestling Championship from the man who's had it for 8 months now. Strictly business. Brandon Beretta. I can't wait. Texas death match at Citizens Park.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be great. A lot of buzz out there about it already because Belleville's own Bobby D. Anytime he's at the fairgrounds or if he's down in Dyersburg, Tennessee, wrestling for Greg Anthony, wherever he may be, Sandoval, Illinois, Shawneetown, Illinois, Bobby D is always a crowd favorite. But right now, to be back in his hometown, home turf, going against the champion, strictly business Brandon Beretta. I mean, if that was the only match on the card, it would be well worth it.
And not to sell Brandon short. I said 8 months. By the time August 8th runs
He's gonna
around,
be long,
he'll
yeah.
be the champion for almost 10 months. Could you imagine? He's, I believe, the youngest champion we've ever had. He was, I still picture that chubby-cheeked, the rookie Brandon Beretta. What an amazing evolution into
I'm
strictly
telling you what,
business.
fans, I'm going to go on record. This is going to be the match of the year, without a doubt. I mean, Bobby D has everything in the world to gain, and Brandon Beretta has everything to lose with that title.
And I believe Bobby D is undefeated at Citizens Park in front of his Little Devils.
Yeah.
So Brandon Beretta better rise to the occasion. He better study some tapes and get his training in.
Well, there's no doubt that Bobby has the advantage, home field advantage there, but that doesn't seem to slow Brandon Beretta down, and I'm kind of worried about it.
And folks that were at FanFest, remember, Bobby D's got a lot of pent-up aggression. It was Brandon Beretta goaded Bobby into putting up $1,000 to challenge for the title at FanFest. Brandon Beretta, he got a little hot in the kitchen. Brandon purposefully got himself counted out of the ring. So Bobby won the match, but he lost the $1,000 that he put up, and he did not reclaim the championship because, as you know, countouts doesn't count.
Switch the title.
So Brandon might have a whole lot of bad karma stored up for him that's going to hit him right in the face on August the 8th.
But in order to find out, you got to be there, 300 Citizens Park Drive there in Belleville, Illinois.
You talked about Cowboy Bob Orton, and that kind of brings me to a point. We talked about the legends and you working with Sam Muchnick and us carrying on the legacy of Wrestling at the Chase. One thing I really want to hit home here is I'll call it an educational pair of locker rooms that we have. It would be easier to list the legends who have not come through SICW over the last 15 to 20 years rather than to list all of the people. But what happens is, and I've seen it firsthand, these legends, they sit down and all of our wrestlers gather around. They ask questions, they listen to stories, and what happens is all of these old school tactics and all of the lessons that these old school wrestlers from the territory days have get passed down and absorbed by our locker room. So what happens is, we talk about how Steve Fender trained by Harley Race. We talk about Brandon Beretta, Glenn Williams, Joe Vanetti, trained by Cowboy Bob Orton. And everybody in between, the Ricky Steamboats, the Ted DiBiase's, all of these people who come through SICW pass on their knowledge. So we don't just say that we're carrying on the legacy of the old days in Wrestling at the Chase, but you can see it. When the bell rings, you can see the knowledge and the history and the legacy of all these amazing wrestlers and Hall of Famers still alive today in our ring through our wrestlers. It's really incredible.
Well, I think it's a benefit for our locker room to have those legends come in because, as you said, they're actually continuing their education into this business. Because, as you mentioned, I've seen him with a Ricky Steamboat sitting there at the Swansea Fire Department, sitting in the middle of the room in the back in the locker room, and all the workers are on their knees around the floor, and they're taking notes, and he's telling them, he's critiquing their matches. And so it's a learning experience for them that they're not going to get anywhere else, I assure you. We are the organization that still wants to pay tribute to these legends, but it's even more than that. It's not just paying tribute to them, it's the education that they're giving to the young men and women in our locker room so they can carry on to be our future legends.
And it's not just the wrestling legends passing on what they know to our locker rooms. We've talked about how you're the modern day Muchnick, and it's the same thing. Once upon a time, when Sam Muchnick was the president of the NWA, territories all across the country, these old school promoters, they were rowdy fellows. It was not an easy job to keep everybody under the same umbrella, marching the same path. And Sam Muchnick, and I mean no disrespect to any of the other NWA presidents, there were some great ones, but I think history will show that it was Sam Muchnick and really Sam Muchnick alone who had the leadership abilities to keep everybody working together. Whenever anybody would kind of go out of line or start to do their own thing, all it would take was a phone call. Sam Muchnick would kind of get the ducks back in a row and keep the NWA working in a way that was, no one else achieved that success. And to be honest, I don't think there were any other leaders or presidents who had his ability to do that. You learned that. I've seen so many times when somebody you think is causing a little trouble somewhere out there in the universe, all it takes is a phone call from the Godfather. You picked up that same leadership ability, and you see that in your day job too. That's you're a leader of men. You have to wrangle law enforcement, and you deal with a lot of political folks, and it takes those same skills to manage wrestlers, to be friends and have working relationships with these other promoters. So touch on that a little bit. I mean, you always try to brush off when I say modern day Muchnick, but who could have done it? You've been doing this 53 years. Promoters come and go. Everybody thinks they have what it takes, but you see a year go by, 2-3 years go by, and there's always something that makes people throw in the towel. You've had the staying power, and somehow or another, like Sam, you still have a pretty incredible reputation around here. You don't have any of the, you don't always hear a lot of positive stories about everybody. And maybe there are people out there that have something bad to say. I don't know.
Well, they do. And we've had that discussion. I've had it with several people. But one of the issues with that, Sam was a reasonable individual, and Sam was a fair person. And Sam always said, we have to do what's best for the business. And that's one of the things now that, and I'm not going to knock any promoter out there because they all do their own thing. And sure. I mean, I've said this before, SICW has extended the olive branch out to other promotions far and beyond anybody else. Mm-hmm. If you remember, SICW and MMWA was the first organization that had an open tryout. Our good friend, Ben Simon, showed up there.
Hi,
Hello,
Ben.
Ben. Say hi, Sparky.
Sparky Simon.
Yeah. So, Tony Costa and I did that many years ago. And I do work with several promoters out there with the understanding it's called mutual respect. We mentioned the Searcher at ACW, Jason Jones down at Mid-States Championship Wrestling, Scotty Z, people like that I can pick up the phone, or they can pick up the phone and call and say, hey, how do we do this? How can we do that? We exchange those ideas. We exchange talent back and forth. And those are the individuals out there that, Troy Peterson up at Impact Pro Wrestling. We went up to Iowa last year. While he took a little break from, he'd been doing it 14, 15 years, I think it was, at running there. He's been in it about 25 years. But those are the type of friendships that the promoters have built over the years. And it's no secret, there are promoters out there that I tell you all the time, it's that little 3-letter word called ego.
Ego.
They don't want to let their ego be put aside to say, hey, what is best for the business moving forward? I've always maintained that education that Sam and Larry instilled in me on, hey, what's best for the business is ultimately best for the talent, and it's best for the fans. And I think for 53 years we have shown that. And like I said, everybody does their own thing. They have their own companies, their own group of people. But what a lot of those talents that haven't experienced the locker room at SICW, they're missing that educational part of it. They think because they've went out there and they've tooled around with it a little bit, they claim they're wrestlers, but they have never really been able to sit down with those legends and, hey, am I doing this right? Am I performing properly? And that's the education you need to try to get.
Sure. And I think the proof is in the pudding, as a wise man once said, is that when we have these legends, these wrestlers come in, they are the ones that mention, we haven't seen a locker room like this for 30 years, 40 years. And we're going to talk about some of those folks right after this. We've got to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. And we've got a pretty cool list of people that I want to talk about who have not just been in our locker room, but have competed in our very ring. So we will be right back. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Hey everybody, What Were They Thinking is proud to be a part of the show with Herb Simmons at SICW.
Show some enthusiasm, Joe. Put on a damn bow tie. We got Herb Simmons, we got the Kill Arena, we got St. Louis, where Mr. Briscoe is in the Hall of Fame. What Were They Thinking? It's available on Backstage Pass. Sports Kita's our buddies. We talk about the wildest, the craziest, the dumbest, the insane moments in wrestling history that I'm proud to be a part of because, Mr. Briscoe, you're the one that hired me.
And I don't know what I was thinking when I did that, John.
That's not nice. Not nice at all. We love Herb Simmons, and Herb Simmons, you have been there forever. Mr. Briscoe thinks you might be 1,000. I don't think you're a day over 900. We love St. Louis. What were they thinking, Backstage Pass?
SICW welcomes our newest sponsor, Total Roofing. For all your roofing needs, call Total Roofing, 618-719-6767. That's Total Roofing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thanks for sticking with us. And as always, fans, you're watching this on YouTube, highly likely. So if you would please leave a like, share, subscribe, head down to the comments, leave a comment. If you're watching this live on Sunday night at 8 p.m. Central, hop on over into the live chat. There's a good chance that there's a good group of us over there having a pretty cool discussion, and we'd love you to be a part of it. So, folks, we were talking about carrying on traditions, and I want to talk about, this is something that always blows me away. You see all over the place with different conventions. Of course, we have FanFest 5 coming up. We'll talk about that. But not just do wrestlers come by and sign pictures, take autographs. Throughout the last several years, we've had a who's who of wrestlers that have stepped in between those ropes, the bell rung, and they lock up inside an SICW ring. So let's talk about a few of these folks. The one and only, the NWA former heavyweight champion, Dory Funk Jr. This is maybe the one that I always kind of hang the hat on. That's incredible. Dory Funk Jr. came to SICW back 10 years plus ago, part of a 6-man tag team. And Dory Funk Jr. wrestled inside an SICW ring in the East Carondelet Community Center in front of all our great fans. What was that like? And I'm sure you were there. Did you see wrestlers hopefully were picking his brain? And
Yeah, of course, to have a former NWA champion, one of the greatest of all times, you know, he's right up there in that category of the Harley Races, the Jack Briscoes. In fact, I won't forget when I first advertised Dory coming in, I was getting calls from other promotions wanting to know how in the world did you get Dory Funk in? And well, you know, it's over the years of building the reputation, being honest, being professional, because that's what a guy like Dory and his lovely wife Marty look for. But it was an honor to have him come in that night, be a part of that. It was an honor for people like Ron Powers, who had known Dory from being out on the road. But you take a young man like Sean Vincent, the Canadian hero, he still talks about that to this day, about what it meant to be him being a part of that organization. Gary Jackson. So not only was it a feather for SICW to bring in a former NWA champion like Dory Funk Jr., but it also helped those guys mentally to say, hey, we get to sit back here and we get to pick the brain of somebody who's been out there and walk the walk and talk the talk.
Yes, sir. And that flashed forward to just a year or so ago. Dory still came with us, and I don't know that we said it might have been his last appearance here in St. Louis. We wish all the love and best of health to the former NWA champion, Mr. Dory Funk. Just about a month ago, we went to the Worldwide Technology Raceway. Another NWA heavyweight champion, Wildfire Tommy Rich, was there at first just to be a referee, as our own Bobby D took on the international bounty hunter Attila Khan. That match needed someone extra tough to be in the middle of them. Inside of a steel cage, nonetheless, Tommy Rich stepped up to do the job, but unfortunately, to the chagrin of Travis Cook, who was also there, you had a little bit of a surprise and they didn't know this was going to happen, but in the middle of a bit of a scuffle, it led to a stipulation that you set up that was agreed on. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? You surprised everybody with this one.
You know, somebody say get fired up. That's what Tommy Wildfire Rich always does. Former NWA champion, as you said, youngest NWA champion back then when he beat Harley Race. That he talks about all the time. Didn't have any idea that was going to happen until it happened. And so a young man, Christmas came early back then. But at the Worldwide Technology Raceway, of course, Travis Cook weaseled his way back in through the help of Stephen E.
He always shows up when you least expect him.
And Stephen E. must have been out over in the Far East somewhere selling conflicts or whatever he was doing. He didn't show up, but Travis Cook did.
Selling manure.
Yeah, that's what he does real good. But Travis thought he was going to skin a cat there and get some advantage for a Telecon against Bobby D. And I thought, what better time? Steel cage match, Bobby D against a Telecon. So we added a little spice into it. I made the last minute stipulation there. I know you were at ringside when I made the announcement that if Bobby D could beat Attila by either escaping the cage or pinfall, that Travis Cook would have to get in the ring in that steel cage against Tommy Wildfire Rich, and which we just showed that last week. But Travis wasn't happy.
He was not.
He was hoping.
The look on his face.
It was priceless. But that's how things work, and the crowd, as you know, of being there, shoulder to shoulder, down the midway, each direction, they enjoyed it. I think everybody there enjoyed it, other than Travis Cook.
We talk about legends in our ring. The Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez, came to SICW, wrestled Waco, who on that night said he was the modern day Raging Bull for some reason. And if I recall, Travis was a part of that too, but Manny took care of business.
And Manny will be with us for FanFest 5.
Yes, sir. We talked about some of the older generation of NWA champions. We've had modern day champions. Pardon me. Of course, we talked last week about the one and only Nick Aldis, who came to town and put heck of a challenge against Attila Khan. Here was a fantastic match. The St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame held an amazing event a few years back, and SICW hosted an NWA Heavyweight Championship match as Attila Khan challenged the NWA champion at the time, Trevor Murdoch. I got to ring announce that match on my birthday. How cool is that?
Well, that was cool. That was special. That was a bonus for you there.
Yes, sir.
But what a lot of fans probably don't remember, that was after Trevor Murdoch had won the NWA title. His first title defense was against Attila Khan here at SICW.
Incredible.
So that's kind of a feather in our cap. Thanks to Billy Corrigan and I was able to work that arrangement out. And again, extending that olive branch out there, and somebody with the right mindset saying, yeah, this is best for business. So again, thank you to the NWA, the modern NWA, not the old NWA. Totally different.
Sure.
But thanks to Mr. Corrigan and Pat Kinney, their booker back at that time, we were able to work that out.
Let's talk about FanFest 4. Like I said, the shadow was still looming. Fans came from all across the country and from all across the continent. We had some folks from Canada that made the trip down as well. And they got to see a very special treat. For the first time in 17 years, the one and only former WWE champion, he is a WWE Hall of Famer, JBL, put on a pair of boots that he hasn't worn since 1996, I want to say. The old Justin Hawk Bradshaw boots were on display as JBL teamed up with the Powers of Pain, the Warlord and the Barbarian, to take on a trio of our own, Big Nasty Glenn Williams, his tag team championship partner, Tony Flood, the Northern Saint, teaming up with the trainee of Harley Race, superstar Steve Fender. And what a treat that was. JBL could have done anything he wanted over the last decade and a half. Hasn't stepped foot inside a ring to lace up the boots and actually hear the bell ring and get into competition. 17 years he broke that to enter the ring at SICW FanFest 4. I'll remember it forever. How in the world do you pull that off?
Well, I just talked to JBL the other day, and he said his feet still hurting from putting on them boots because
they're a little tight.
They're a little tight, but he had a great time. And of course, there's certain individual out there that would like to make you believe that he was the reason why JBL came back out of retirement to compete. He'd been in rings, but it wasn't for competing. But after 17 years, Big Nasty Glenn Williams would like to make everybody think that he's the cause of that. But realistically, our good friend Teddy Long, who we made the general manager of FanFest 4, got tired of hearing all the lip service that Big Nasty was putting out there. They even had him on their road trip after our show. I hate to give credit where credit's due, but they did praise Glenn. He kind of mellowed out when they had him on their show. He wasn't so gutsy and so condescending, but he did get on there. He talked about it, and so the end result was JBL did get in the ring, and of course, those of you who were there saw that it didn't turn out too good for Big Nasty.
Can we figure out how they mellowed him out?
We'd like to bottle that up.
Right, I'm saying.
Right.
We're not able to do that for some reason.
Well, and Teddy Long, you were there. You heard the announcement, FanFest 5, one-on-one. It will be JBL against Big Nasty Glenn Williams. Now, that's a whole 11 months away now.
Yeah, that's a lot could happen.
A lot could happen there, but Teddy Long says if he still got anything to do with it, Glenn Williams is going to have to pay the price again.
And I don't like to plug other things, but they talk about us, so I will. A recent JBL podcast, Something to Wrestle with John Layfield and our friend Conrad Thompson, they actually take several moments and talk all about JBL's trip to FanFest 4, and they show a little bit of that match and what happened. So when this is over...
All in front of our banner.
Yeah, if you're looking for something else, go out to YouTube, take a look at Something to Wrestle with John Layfield, and you can see them talk all about FanFest 4, and that's our honor. That's one of those things only at SICW.
And you want to continue to follow them because while they were in town, they interviewed all the legends that they could, and they're going to be putting them out there over the next several weeks and months to come. So make sure you follow JBL's podcast there.
Yes, sir. Let's talk about a few of the special things that we've done that I think separate SICW from any other company. We've had some amazing places, and I got to pat you on the back. There aren't a lot of people who can pull these strings and make these sorts of things happen. Someplace we've been, we'll be returning for our 6th time, I believe. The beautiful, nothing like it anywhere in St. Louis, the Missouri Athletic Club. It's a whole different thing. It's a private show, but you're in front of these millionaires, and I guess some of them probably billionaires. They're all wealthy people, doctors, lawyers. It's like stepping into a time machine where all of these rich guys are sitting around these fancy tables. They bring their lady friends. They're in fancy gowns. They're drinking expensive drinks and smoking cigars, and it's like going back to the old days. And what's, I think, really neat is these folks who think that they're fancy and sophisticated. As soon as the bell rings and professional wrestling gets started, all of these highfalutin members of society turn into little kids again, and they're hooting and hollering and cheering and booing for some good old professional wrestling.
Telling their stories that they heard from their parents and grandparents and just having a heck of a time. And, you know, I want to thank Jim Wilson, their entertainment director over there at Missouri Athletic Club, because we have taken a host of legends over there to them all these years. I mean, we're talking about Tito Santana, Buff Bagwell, who else have we all had there?
I just want to mention that Buff Bagwell punched Glenn Williams in the face.
Yes. Jimmy Hart's been there a couple of times. JBL has been there a couple of times. So, in fact, we're going back there. In fact, they've got me out on a mission now to try to find out who the next legends we're going to be bringing to the Missouri Athletic Club.
I can't wait to find that out.
Yeah, so it's always a great time at the Missouri Athletic Club. It's one of those places that take you back in time, as Dr. Drew said, to the historical Chase Park Plaza at the Coruscant Room, because it's got that atmosphere, that ambiance of that. and it's always a great time.
Absolutely. You talk about wrestling at the Chase, the Coruscant Room, which is something also we did. Our very talented wrestlers and myself got to be in the Coruscant Room looking up at those very famous chandeliers
Still there.
From all those years ago.
And let's talk about that a minute.
You bet.
When we were there that day, setting up, I mean, they were setting the ring up, and one of the cross beams of the ring got dropped, and it kind of reverberated through that whole building. It was kind of like spooky.
Well,
The ghost that could be talking in
yes,
that room.
you read my mind.
Oh my! I mean, the hair on my arm stood up. I thought, I mean, I can hear Dick the Bruiser. I can hear Johnny Valentine. It was just weird, just the way that the shape of that building and that Coruscant Room is. That noise just reverberated through there, and to be able to go back there. And I think what was really neat about that whole deal is that the hotel was owned by the Koppler family, and the show that we did there that Sunday afternoon was a private show for the grandson of Harold Koppler. So to kind of go back, I'll never forget when our friend Ed Wheatley, who wrote the second Wrestling at the Chase book, called me and said, hey, I got a deal you may be interested in, and we got hooked up on a three-way call with Bob Koppler, and he asked me if I would be interested in doing it, and it took me all of about an eighth of a second to say, yeah, when, what can we do?
Are you reading my notes?
No.
You keep reading my brain and leading us to where we're going. Before we get there, personally, what did that mean to you? To go from the East Carondelet Community Center, which I love it, it's a humble little building, to then you leading a show in the Chase Park Plaza in the exact same room that you could feel it. You could feel the ghosts. I mean, that had to be such an incredible moment for you personally. You don't like to, let too much of your personal feelings out, but personally, what did that mean to you?
It meant everything for a couple of reasons. One, I was so happy and excited for the talent that was going to be performing there, because the chances of them getting there again is slim to none. But the only regret I have about that is that Larry Matasek was not with us. Because him and I had talked for years. I believe spiritually he was. But we had tried on several occasions to run shows there, but due to the ownerships not wanting to have anything to do with the modern day wrestling, and I understood that. But to be able to say and be part of the memories that we were able to go in there and put a show on in that same building, those four words, wrestling at the Chase, that meant everything. That was full circle as far as I'm concerned. And everything else on the cake is just the cherry.
Yes, sir.
But it was great to see you up in the ring doing the announcing.
Wild.
And I remember seeing things back. I mean, I watched Johnny Curley ring announce in the ring. Mickey Garagiola, and the host of the other ones. Joe Garagiola, the play-by-play announcer, Eddie Gromacki, people like that. And here's Dr. Drew Ebenhouse standing inside the Coruscant Room.
Insane.
Yeah. Tell me somebody else out there other than Billy Corgan went in there and ran a couple of shows. But again, we were the first.
Yes, sir. That was a very surreal night. Another one of my favorite moments and nights that I'll remember forever. You mentioned our friend Mr. Ed Wheatley, and you worked with him to help put out a coffee table book, Wrestling at the Chase. It's still out there. Go to Amazon if you don't have one, folks. Check it out. That led us to a lot of cool places, and one of them, there was a brand new documentary that was released alongside of that called Head Over Heels. It's on YouTube. It's on the PBS website. But the premiere of that, we had yourself, a lot of the members of our locker room came out, a lot of fans outside of the PBS studios, I guess, here in St. Louis, aired the premiere of the Head Over Heels documentary on a big screen on the side of a building. It was a beautiful night. It's always risky doing things outside because the weather never plays along. It's either too hot or it's raining or something. But the gods were on our side that night. It couldn't have been a more perfect night. Standing there watching a lot of the labor of love. And not only was it about wrestling at the Chase, but there was a tie-in there to ourselves in SICW. It showed a lot of Cowboy Bob training some of our students. The night train Gary Jackson was a part of it. Our friend Jerry Bullion was a part of it. You'll hear my voice ring announcing an amazing NWA title match between Trevor Murdoch and Attila Khan. A little bit of a snippet on that. So these are the memories that will stick with me forever. What are your memories of putting that together? Are you happy with how all that went? And what do you think?
Yeah, TV is always different than regular wrestling shows, as you well know by now. You've been a part of it for a long, long time. But when Ed first approached me with the idea of he had the idea of the book, and he had been told that I had quite a collection of photos, and so I remember the first night he came over and looked at what I had. He was like a kid at a candy shop. So a lot of the photos in that book was provided by us. And
when are you going to open up your museum?
Well, I hope soon. But
he keeps accumulating more and more stuff.
Yeah. But again, when Ed, about halfway through that book that he was doing, he pitched the idea of PBS wanting to possibly do a documentary.
Yeah.
And of course, I can't tell you over the years how many times we have had that proposed to us, Larry and I have. But Ed came through. I mean, I got to give Ed Wheatley all the credit of that. And it got nominated for an award. And it was so that premiere that night, like you said, the weather was beautiful. Bob Orton was there with us because he was a big part of it. Some of the county officials from here in St. Clair County, Chairman Kern, Ken Easterly, people like that showed up for it. Because it was a big deal. They rolled out the red carpet for us,
They sure
did. And it's still being seen out there to this day. People still talk about it. And just to say that we had just a little bit of schmidgen to do with that is another one of those milestones that will always go down in the books as SICW being a part of.
Yes, sir. It's been an honor. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting caught up in memory lane. We got to pay some bills. Folks, we got to take a quick commercial break. We're going to go to that now, but don't go anywhere. Hang out in the chat, have a conversation with the other fans, and we'll be right back before you know it, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Since 1967, the Wrestling Fans International Association has united wrestling fans around the world. As a non-profit charity, we preserve wrestling history, support independent wrestling, and help those in the wrestling community who are in need. For the fans, by the fans. Join us at thewfia.org. WFIA, preserving the past, supporting the future.
All right, fans, we are back, and stick with us. It's time for your weekly headache. I don't know what to call it.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, he always gets time, and it's time now. Time for some nasty talk with none other than Glenn Williams.
Take a good look at this. I hold 2/3 of the championships at SICW. Central States champion. By the way, the greatest. And it's not even close. The most entertaining and most successful run ever. Best champion ever. And right now, me and Tony Flood are on track to be the best tag team champions that has ever been at SICW. And yet, things are being announced for FanFest 5, but I'm not. Things are being announced for shows at the fairgrounds, and I'm not. July 18th is just a few short weeks away, and I have no clue who I'm facing. And it's not by accident, it's all by design. Herb is doing everything in his power to try to put me in a position where I have no idea what to prepare for because he doesn't want me to hold all the gold. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, all of you idiots think that you know everything about wrestling now because you learned a few terms. You don't know a damn thing. The reality is, whoever holds all the gold holds all the power. And Herb knows that. The only reason why I don't have the other championship right now is because my boy Brandon holds it. Who also, by the way, is not being thanked for a damn thing either. And he's one hell of a talent. Arguably the best classic champion we've ever had. And the worst part about all of this is that you fans are also bought in on yourselves. You really think you're the reason why this is all successful. You guys think you're the reason why FanFest 4 was so successful. Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you, and by the way, let's go ahead and put a pin in that. Ladies and gentlemen is crazy. You toilet babies because you don't deserve a proper, nice term like ladies and gentlemen because you're not, you're all trash. You're all knuckle-dragging mouth breathers. Half of you look like you're all related because your mom and your dad are brother and sister and had a whole bunch of kids. Yeah, you guys are terrible people. And you're acting like you're the reason why SICW is successful, but you're not. You're not at all because FanFest 3 was just all right. Where were all of you? No, FanFest 4 was successful. All this momentum from last year going into right now, all of that is directly because of me. It's not because of you. Don't forget, you guys are coming to see me because I'm so entertaining. You guys are coming to see me because I'm the greatest wrestler alive. You guys are paying money to come sit and come see me because I hold 2/3 of the championships here. You guys are lucky to have me. Because if I happen to sign a contract and go be on television, you won't have me. And you're acting like this is going to last forever. And you're acting like this is all because of you. No, see, I'm the kind of talent that doesn't just come around here. I'm the guy in St. Louis, and it's not even close. Just in the last 6 months, 5 million views on my content. Who else is doing that? Go ahead, I'll wait. Nobody. You're coming to see me because I'm an experience. And you guys are funny as hell too because you want to be mean to me and call me names and then secretly a couple of you, hey, you think I could get an autograph? All that shit's done. Buy the shirts, wear the shirts, but them little autographs and them little pictures, no, I'm not doing none of that until I start getting the respect around here that I deserve, until I start getting told thank you for being the best wrestler alive, thank you for reviving SICW, thank you for breathing life into this place because it needed it, thank you for being the face of it all. July 18th is coming, and I still haven't heard a single thing. No thank you, no poster, no flyer, no nothing. Nothing. All kinds of announcements 24/7 all day long, except for the most important one that goes to me. I'm telling you, this could all be so simple if I just get my just due respect. This attitude and this whole threat goes away. All you have to do is thank me. I'm so baffled. I don't even understand. We're playing chicken right now, and I'm not going to back down from it. Herb, if I get you in the center of the ring, I'm not going to be responsible for my actions. You are. These people that sit around the ring are. Everybody that was chanting one more time when I got jumped from behind by JBL. You all tried to embarrass me in front of my wife and my kids, my family, my friends. On the biggest night of my life, you tried to embarrass me. No, me and you got to have a conversation. I need you to shake my hand and say, thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Big Nasty. Thank you for making SICW so hot and successful. Thank you for popping a rating. Thank you for selling out the building. Thank you for bringing me the biggest match I've ever had on my card. Thank you. You can say it to everybody else, but you can't say it to me. Okay, we'll see about that. And don't forget on July 18th at East Carondelet, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to show up. You'll buy a ticket. It's going to sell out. It'll be standing room only. And don't forget, it won't be because it's all because of you. No, it's going to be because you all have to see what I'm going to do next and what I'm going to say next. You can't miss it. You're going to get your phones out. You're going to boo me. You're going to be the loudest when I come out. You're going to get on your phones and you're going to press record and you'll have the videos and you'll post it and it'll be the highest ratings that you'll have and the highest metrics you'll have on your socials because of me. And you'll all get online and in your phones and in your text messages and you'll all argue about me and you'll all talk about me because I'm the greatest wrestler walking the planet. Yeah, I'm the greatest entertainer walking the planet. I have 2/3 of the championships at SICW. Best wrestler in St. Louis, hands down, not even close. I am a charismatic force. Nobody can do what I can do. Nobody. I'm a true one of one, and you all know it. That's why you're always talking about me. That's why you're always watching. And that's what you're going to continue to do because your lives revolve around me. Because I'm the creator of chaos. I'm the moment maker. I'm the risk taker. I'm mentally sick. I'm physically thick. My name is Big Nasty. Go ahead, you're at home in the privacy. No one will hear you. Say it with me. Everywhere I go, I'm the star of the show. And July 18th, in front of the sold-out East Carondelet Community Center, Herb Simmons, put some chapstick on and pucker those lips up and start practicing in the mirror because you're going to say, thank you, Big Nasty.
Glenn Williams, there's nobody like him. Could you have ever imagined this young man training with the cowboy, Bob Orton, would have blossomed into this interesting human being that we know now?
Well, there's no conceit in his family because he has it all. I'm telling you, he is stuck on himself.
Indeed. Let's talk about something fun. Last year, you teased everybody. You kept the suspense building. We didn't announce FanFest 4 until it was right upon us. Yeah. This year was the total opposite. We announced FanFest 5 at FanFest 4. So we're only a month or so into it. We still have almost a year to go, and the list of folks that you've compiled for this is really incredible. You already have 5 people announced to be proud additions into the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame that day, and we have a ton of legends. Folks, mark your calendars. This is going to be May 14th and 15th, 2027 at the Radisson Hotel in Fairview Heights, Illinois. And this is going to be great. This year, I suppose, we did a little bit on the Friday night. Of course, it was the Mick Foley one-man show. The main day was Saturday. This time, I'm to understand both days are going to be all-day affairs. Friday, May the 14th, is going to have we're going to have seminars. We're going to have all sorts of vendors selling their crafts. That's going to be incredible. And then, of course, the main event will be May the 15th. So mark those calendars. It's an amazing time. We're making memories that'll last you a lifetime. Let's talk a little bit first about the people who will be going into the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. A lot of folks, huge.
Let me interrupt you there.
Yeah, you bet.
Friday, you mentioned Friday because that's a big deal.
Yeah.
We're going to be starting about noon on that Friday, May 14th. as you said, got some seminars planned, and we've got vendors will be there. Vendors are already signing up, just as they did last year. A lot of repeat ones, couple new ones already, and we're still 11 months away. But that evening where we had Mick Foley this year, in 2027, Nate Orton.
Yeah.
The son of Cowboy Bob Orton Jr., the brother of Randy Orton, member of the Orton family, will be there doing his comedy routine. He's a very successful comedian, been up in New York doing his thing up there, and I was able to come to an agreement with him that he will be here on May 14th that night to do his comedy show.
Yes, sir. And folks, take a trip back, watch some of our older episodes, and just in recent weeks here we showed Nathan was part of the induction of Cowboy Bob into the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, and you can get just a little snippet of what his comedy routine is like. He had the whole room in stitches. He's a really funny guy. Yeah. So let's talk about Iceman King Parsons. He was one of the hits of FanFest 4. He didn't normally come out to these sorts of things. You got him out. Fans loved him. He had brought his whole family. He was taking pictures, signing autographs, and next year he will be inducted into the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. He was originally from St. Louis.
Yep, he's not really one to go out and do a lot of the Fan Fest and these type of things, but and I'd been trying to get him. Of course, he worked for us back in the day when Bill Ash first recommended him to us, because he was actually a pinch hitter for Buddy Landell, who couldn't make a show for us at the last minute, and Bill Ash got a hold of us and said, "Hey, I got somebody right there in St. Louis," and rightly so. He probably did a better job because he was from St. Louis, brought some of that St. Louis crowd with him. But the Iceman did a great job and very well deserving. Had a great career down with the Von Erichs in world-class championship wrestling. So, being from St. Louis, he's very well deserving of a spot in that St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir. Another man who was very popular here in St. Louis. Once upon a time, he actually sold out the arena against Dory Funk Jr. for that title. We're talking about Rufus R. Freight Train Jones.
Oh, I mean, the Freight Train, just always a crowd pleaser wherever he was. If he was in Canada, Kansas City, wherever him and his big soup bones showed up at, the Rufus was there. And then a bonus to that, being inducted into that Hall of Fame. You know what I'm going to say.
You keep reading my mind. He is the doctor of style. Slick himself will be in, and you have to imagine he will be part of the induction.
Oh, he's going to be doing he'll be doing the accepting the honors, and we're really looking forward to because Slick hasn't been to St. Louis in many, many years.
Yeah. We'll talk about a man who just recently made probably one of many retirements from in-ring competition. The Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, being put into the Hall of Fame.
Well,
he's a blast.
You even danced with him in the ring.
I certainly did.
So I mean,
we got the Boogie with the Boogie Woogie Man.
And him and his brother, again, a tremendous team. The Boogie Woogie Man just turned, I think, 85 years old.
Yeah.
It says he retired for the last time, but he's got one more trip to St. Louis for his friend Herb, and so I'm really excited about that. I get to talk to him all the time, and it's an honor to have him a part of that class of 2027 into that Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir. Another man who's been in town to visit us in the East Carondelet Community Center, and he's been to some fan fests before. The Bushwhacker, Luke Williams.
Well, you know,
sheep herder, Kiwi, whatever you want to call
you talk about a man who's had a career in the business. It's Bushwhacker Luke, great individual. Also, he didn't like Travis Cook, so that's a plus for him there. So there's video of him out there being in our ring, taking Travis to school a little bit. But it's an honor.
We might have to
him.
show fans a little bit of that here.
Yeah, it'll be good as we move forward.
We always like watching Travis Cook get beat up.
Yes, exactly. And
so far, the fifth. You already have 5 people. What's it going to look like a year from now? My goodness. One of the Fantastics, the one and only Bobby Fulton. He was just here at FanFest 4. He had a great time.
Great guy. Bobby's went through some major health issues. He first came to work back for us in the 80s. Him and his tag team partner, Tommy Rogers. Yep. They were part of the only show that was ever produced at the Fox Theater that Sam Muchnick and Larry Matisek and I produced there. And Bobby has never forgot that. He invited me up this year to his big fan fest he does up in Chillicothe, Ohio. I went up and done his TV work for him, and always been a great guy, great individual, and I can't say enough about Bobby Fulton.
Yes, sir. I'm going to rapid fire here because I know we're running out of time, but I feel like fans should know we're still a ways away. Listen to this group of legends and talent already announced for FanFest 5. Bill DeMott, also known as Hugh Morris, returning. He had a great time at FanFest 4, and I'm told that he's interested in maybe putting on a wrestling seminar, so keep that in mind, all you wrestlers out there. Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez, coming back into town. He is a hoot. We have the Cuban Assassin, Fidel Sierra, and his manager, Fantasy, coming along with him. Here's one I'm really looking forward to. She received the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame plaque. She was inducted. She was not able to make it, I think 2 years ago because of some health issues. She's scheduled to be here with us. Leilani Kai, one of the Golden Girls, one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time. Jerry Briscoe always says Leilani Kai could outwork a lot of the men wrestlers.
Yep, she sure will, and I can't thank her enough for already her and her better half, Steve Stazak, going to be in. So they're definitely a great addition. She'll finally get that award handed to her in 2027.
You bet. Shout out to Steve. He does a lot of hard work. Check out Book Pro Wrestlers out there on Facebook. We appreciate everything he does. We have Dr. D, David Schultz, very well liked around here. He is one-of-a-kind human being, and he'll be coming back to FanFest 5. We have someone that I follow in the footsteps of, the one and only Mr. Ken Resnick, one of the great announcers, mostly known in AWA fame. We have Eric Watts, the son of the cowboy Bill Watts. Eric coming into town. The Cat, Ernest Miller. There's a bit of a theme here. So many of these people that come to our FanFest have such a great time that they want to do return trips. Ernest Miller had a blast here with us at FanFest 4, and he was one of the first people to sign on for FanFest 5. Tito Santana Arriba coming into town again. Tito, a gentleman as you will ever find. He's always been a treat here in SICW, and he will be with us at FanFest 5.
Yes, Tito's always been there whatever time we need him, just like now. Hey, he couldn't make it for 4, but he says, hey, I'm available for 5.
Yes, sir. We talked about the Doctor of Style, Slick, coming in. Tokyo Monster Cahagas. We talked about him a little bit last week, a former NWA heavyweight champion, a former SICW Classic Wrestling champion, Cahagas. Hopefully he's a little nicer than he was when we knew him a few years ago. And you teased that he might be back before FanFest 5. So
I can almost assure that.
That would be fantastic. We have one half of the Killer Bees, the one and only B. Brian Blair, president of our good friends at the Cauliflower Alley Club, of which I am proud to say I am now a lifetime member.
And getting ready to celebrate the 60th year reunion of Cauliflower Alley Club out there. And if you're not a member, please consider doing so, because they have done so much for our men and women in this business. And that's how they survive, is on membership. And I'm proud to say I've been a member for a long time now, and people like Darla Staggs, Barbara Goodish, Pam Morrison, that list just goes on. And, we've got some new blood in there now. The passing of Rich Engling, who we will be honoring this year out there. Rich was a spark behind that knock with B. Brian Blair. But again, the Cauliflower Alley Club, the Thez Tragus Hall of Fame, that's where Ken Resnick and them are recognizing him.
Oh,
so we got a lot going on with those two organizations. So consider becoming a member of both of them.
Absolutely, and I would quick plug for the websites. It's caulifloweralleyclub.org. Check that out, folks. And a shout out, you mentioned them. We'll give some name shout outs because they're our friends. Mark Charles III, the Count. He was a referee for us recently at FanFest. He's doing a great job out at Cauliflower Alley Club. And of course, a very special shout out to Ms. Darla Staggs, who recently took on some more responsibilities and also recently celebrated a birthday. So a belated happy birthday to Ms. Darla Staggs. We have Tony Gurria, the one and only. It'll be a blast. He will be coming into town for FanFest 5. And the most recent addition, a younger member of the wrestling community, Mr. Ridge Holland, who not that long ago was a WWE competitor.
Yes, very much so. Was excited to get him added. Brings that younger crowd in. In fact, when I posted that up, the social media just lit up with it. So we're excited about that. And here we are. We're still about 11 months away.
Every year, you're like, all right, I'll do it again. This is only going to be a little one. And then every year it becomes bigger and
I blame
better. Brian Whitaker,
Yeah.
our excellent producer of SICW All-Star Wrestling. That's fine. We can do that.
Well, my son Jason tells me too, every time I post somebody, he'll call me. I mean, I no sooner hit the send button and he's got me bugged. And Dad, what are we doing? You told me it was only going to be X amount.
Yeah.
So, sorry, son.
And again, we're about out of time, but I just want to show what it was and what it is. This all spawned from your annual Bruiser Brody Memorial Show. This started many years ago in the East Carondelet Community Center, and more fans would come, but it was just one of our normal monthly shows. You would always bring in some special guests to make it a bigger thing. Could you have ever imagined that a little Bruiser Brody tribute at the East Carondelet Community Center would eventually give birth to FanFest and turn into, I'll tell you right now, FanFest 5 is going to be the biggest one ever. The previous 4 have been amazing, but you look at just the guests that we've announced and the Hall of Famers that are going to be inducted this year, that's about the size of other FanFests that you see around the country. If you stopped right now, that'd be a heck of a FanFest. We're just getting started, folks, and I know this guy. He's always got surprises for us, and if the past years have been any indication of how this is going to go, not only do you have people I'm sure you have in mind that you want to bring in, you get calls up until the very last minute of people that say, hey, this looks awesome, can I come in? Yeah. And it's hard to say no to people that want to come. So 50, 60 people have been what we've had the last 2 years. I'm not even going to say a number or what I'm going to estimate. I bet this is going to break the record of how many guests we have in, and I think it's going to break the record of how many fans that we have come in from all around the world. I'm not knocking any other place or any other conventions, but fans that I talked to at our recent Fan Fest told me personally they have more fun here with us than anywhere else they go throughout the year. And this year is going to be bigger and better than all of them with the help of our friends at the Radisson Hotel in Fairview Heights.
Yeah, great people to work with. I think we found us a great home there. But, you know, to answer your question about did I ever see it morphing into this, I can tell you the Bruiser Brody Memorial was a brainchild that we wanted to do to honor him because of what he had done for SICW over the years. He introduced me to so many, between him and Larry Matisek, to so many of the talent out there that I still get to work with. And I promised Barbara Goodish, the widow of Bruiser Brody, that as long as I had life in me, we were going to remember the late, great Bruiser Brody, and I can't think of a better way to do it because I can't do this without her.
Sure, I was going to say, what a stamp of approval. Each and every year she comes and makes it a point to be here. Not only is she here, she personally gives the trophy to the winner of the Bruiser Brody Memorial Battle Royal. So what a treat. So shout out to Barbara.
Yeah, our love goes out to Barbara, and like I said, as long as we can continue to do that, that's what we're going to do.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Well, Herb, I think we did it again. It's another episode in the can.
And the scary part is we could sit here forever and ever, but I know they want to go get ready for work this week coming up and get the kids to bed and get them for school. But you know what? There's next week.
There's always next week. Well, fans, as always, a request. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment, hit the share button, share it on your social media. Tell a friend. Wrestling's all about friendship and having a great time, and we couldn't do it without you all. Well, fans, thank you for spending your Sunday evening or whenever you watch this with us. For the Godfather himself, Mr. Herb Simmons, I'm Drew Abenthouse. We thank you all so very much for hanging out with us tonight, and we'll see you right here next week, everybody. Take care.
Good night.